to entry has always been cost. And one of the things I'm hearing from a cost standpoint that's going to get more expensive about flying is insurance. And I'm told that that's because rates have been unusually low for several years now, and the insurance industry needs to make up that shortfall over the last few years. Are you hearing the same things?
Well, I sure have. I would say I don't have a day that doesn't go by that I don't have a member who is trying to either move up into from a piston to a turbine to, or to a multi-engine, and either the cost is significantly higher than it was 2 years ago, or in some cases at some ages unobtainable. And we were working really hard educating the underwriters on the age thing. We cannot see a correlation. We do not, nor does the NTSB, on age related to fatalities or significant accidents. There may be some incidences that we have to figure out how to have different deductibles on. So we're trying to address the age thing, and hopefully we've got some ideas that are being moved through the industry, the insurance industry, the underwriter industry, that I think are going to come to fruition here pretty soon. But the cost of insurance, and whether it's the pool and how big it is, and some of the large accidents and liabilities, and even to the degree that business interruption costs are out there, significant. We are working it really hard, but it's a challenge, I'll tell you. I would consider it the number one threat to GA right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So
really...
we go ahead.
No, you go, Tim.
Okay, we have to be mindful that the premiums 10 years ago were higher than the premiums now being doubled. And so it's part of this cycle that's happened out there. A real issue though is owner operator trying to fly by himself in a jet engine plane. It's very tough to get insurance for that. And I know Mark's working on that. We're working with the underwriters as well, trying to understand that. Some people are placing their planes with aircraft management companies because they have the relationship and can get the insurance through their plane being managed. And so there are ways to work around the system and work within the system, but it is a problem that we need to address, and the premiums are going to go up for the next 2 to 3 years for sure. But we need to make sure that people that want to fly can fly, and that's part of the problem now.
Well, and I think we also want to make sure, and we're working, all of us, to understand what are the real discriminators. So it's easy to say a person over this age, an owner-operator in a turbine aircraft, but you get down to what does that really mean, and what are the alternative ways to get, is it training? Are there ways to pull the data and be able to provide that in a compelling way with insurance companies, and make sure that people don't just make some statements and say, well, you fit in this bucket, there's nothing you can do. We want to look for ways that we can say, with this training, with this operating experience, we should qualify to be able to fly at a certain age in a certain environment because we've trained for it. We're more current. Those are some of the things that I think are important, that we're able to not just fall, well, you're in this bucket, there's nothing you can do.
And some of the brokers out there, what they'll do to get the owner operator in them is they'll pull 3 underwriters together or 4 underwriters to share the risk. And that's the path forward for the time being. As we look, it's obviously we've been approached by some of Pete's members, the OEMs that have the smaller, light jets, saying, "What can you do? We can't, qualify this person to get insurance, but we want to sell. They want to buy the plane," and that's a real problem.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
I would just echo what my 3 buds have said here. To Ed's point, we had several of the large insurance companies in a board meeting last fall, and
for us to be able to get our customers the best insurance rates out there, we have to build a story. That's what we were told. We have to build a story. Each one of those has to be able to talk about what they do in training, what their qualifications are, what their currencies are. And I know all of us are trying to work this both together and then individually to find out what the best formulas are. And I guess the one message is that if you have an aviator that takes training seriously, that wants to be one of those that you can that listens to the outreach that all of our associations are doing, it's incumbent upon us to try to help them be able to figure out the best path that they can go forward with to get that insurance. And that's the challenge to all of us, and we're all working this hard, because I agree with Mark. I think in the United States, it's the #1 threat to business and general aviation.
Oh, I'm
Let me
going to,
just kind of tap on with one more thought on that. And that is what Tim said. We get members that argue about, my insurance went up on my Bonanza $400. That's not the real problem. It's the availability and then the transitioning levels to get to the next airplane, what it's going to take to get it done. Some cases are just unavailable, or you turned age 74 or 5 and you're no longer insurable. So I'm really fighting for the insurability factors. The economics, if we can, in the industry, reduce the claims, the economics will work out for themselves over time.
I want to touch on economics for just a minute and once again say thank you to our sponsor, Global Jet Capital, because economics of acquisition are their business. So thank you again for making this webinar possible.